Hey guys, time for a news dump. And if you put your ear up to your phone like it was some sort of conch shell and closely listen to the internet, you might hear the sounds of millions upon millions of weebs crying out in pain. Because thanks to a recent acquisition by Sony, the two biggest sources of anime have split after what was one hell of a relationship that brought all the best parts of anime around the world together in one house under one roof. So if you thought Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande breaking up was going to be the biggest ruined relationship of the week, you were wrong.
Yes, after forging a partnership together with streaming service and app VRV, shows produced or distributed by Funimation and distributed by Crunchyroll existed seamlessly through the same app, giving anime fans and complete fucking morons like us access to a vast library of weeb TV, all in one convenient location. It was seemingly the perfect marriage, but it turned out, behind the scenes, love was on the rocks. And now, in the wake of AT&T buying Warner Brothers and by extension now owning Crunchyroll and VRV, and Sony purchasing Funimation, these two companies are now technically competitors. Now they could have, of course, put their differences aside and stayed together for the kids. But Sony and AT&T, they're horny as fuck, and they're getting the fuck out to go find someone else to get in bed with.
Yeah, so it sounds like Sony and Funimation were the ones to make this decision, and as of November 9th, both services will no longer be available together on VRV. Sorry, weebs. Now, a bit of good news to come out of this, though, is that VRV will be adding anime streaming platform HiDive to its library to replace Funimation, but everybody knows the good stuff's over on Funimation. They've got weeb stuff like Food Wars, High School of the Dead, Made in Abyss, and around 500 other shows that we've never heard of. VRV, it's still a pretty solid deal. $10 a month, you get Crunchyroll, Rooster Teeth, Shudder, Nerdist, Nick Splat, which I've been using it for. I originally got it to watch the anime shows for idiots watching anime, but
Nick Splat's great.
You can watch Guts on there. It's great.
Yeah.
It's basically all the Nickelodeon shows from the 90s, with a few exceptions, but it's cool.
Yeah. So there are, however, some reasons to be concerned about this even further. Now, recent reports seem to indicate that AT&T will be looking to do the same thing that Disney is currently working on, which means taking all of their shit off of all the other platforms and putting it all in one big WB-only streaming service. So basically, all of VRV's stuff, plus HBO, Filmstruck, and Warner's various other properties, which includes the CW, DC, TBS, TNT, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, CNN, all of Warner Brothers movies, and a little video game-focused startup known as Machinima. We shall see.
Machinima?
So we'll see. I mean, if this does come to pass, expect that $9.99 price point to change, and expect to be forced to add yet another subscription to your life if you want to be able to actually enjoy entertainment digitally across the spectrum.
There's, I was looking at it recently, and I've seen it a couple times pop up with the studies that actual illegal downloading has seen a huge rise as all of these streaming platforms start.
It's gonna eventually be as expensive as cable was.
Yeah. Everyone is like, after Netflix got big and Prime Video kind of stepped in too, and everything was kind of split across two major platforms with a few others. All these companies were like, oh shit, you can actually make money off of digital streaming, and now everything's being siloed off again, and it's making it harder to get the things that you want because you have to sign up for a specific service instead of having most things in one place. And according to analytics on like torrent sites and other places where you can nefariously get digital video content, there was a huge, there was a peak, then a huge valley, and now it's back on the rise again because of this fact. So I mean, they might end up losing money on all of it.
I already have Netflix, Hulu Plus, Amazon Prime, and HBO Now, and I don't think I really want to throw any more money down on any more services. It's too much already.
Yeah. But anyways, it's been at least a week or two since we checked in with one of News Dump's most diabolical new characters, MoviePass.
I think MoviePass is cute. He's so goofy.
Yeah, he's just a bumbling idiot, just handing out free candy. Last time we spoke about MoviePass, they had altered their service a few dozen times probably. They refused also to speak with some customers directly about canceling accounts, and in some cases, more recently, just went ahead and re-upped people's memberships for them automatically, even if they didn't want to renew.
What's that? You love MoviePass? You want more of it? You want us to charge your credit card?
Say no more, fam. Now, the latest news on MoviePass, it shouldn't really come as a surprise to anyone, but here it is. MoviePass and their parent company, Helios and Matheson Analytics, are now apparently under investigation by the New York Attorney General for fraud and misleading investors.
Yeah, in a tweet, the Attorney General for the state of New York, Barbara Underwood, tweeted, We've launched a securities fraud investigation into MoviePass's parent company. My office is committed to protecting New York investors and the integrity of our financial markets. So it's not entirely clear what they're going after them for specifically, but it apparently relates to the fact that the AG's office believes that Helios and Matheson misled people who were investing in the company regarding their financials.
No, don't listen to the tweets.
Guys,
and
this seems like
news articles online.
Where do you make a profit? Oh, we make a profit. It's, look, I got this big stack of papers. Those look blank. Nah.
No. You can check out this PowerPoint with a giant red arrow that's going up.
So yeah, this is yet again another case of, fuck around with the customers. Oh well, what are you gonna do about it? Fuck around with high-level financial shit, and people with a lot of money, they're gonna come after you in court. You're fucked. It's the same thing as the Billy McFarland thing. And the advertisers suing Facebook, Elon Musk as well, I'd say. Fuck around with big money, see what happens.
Meanwhile, we just have to enjoy watching companies that fuck people over getting screwed.
Yeah.
So, hey, it's fun too. Now, moving on though, remember earlier this past week when we talked about how a bunch of great content creators and digital outlets have literally died or become a shadow of their former selves? Well, we just got another notch in that bedpost because it became public knowledge recently that Adam McKay had officially stepped away from the digital comedy outlet that he helped create, Funny or Die. Now, we've been over this a few times, but really quick. Adam McKay, he's the writer and director who brought you films like Anchorman and Step Brothers. Now, he also founded and launched Funny or Die back in 2007 alongside Will Ferrell.
And now he makes legitimately great movies.
Yes.
Weird how that happened. Anyway, starting in 2016, Funny or Die, they started kind of suffering the same fate as a lot of other digital outlets out there, and the layoffs began. They closed satellite offices in places like San Mateo and New York, and then in January of this year, the company laid off as many as 24 members of its editorial team. Shortly after that, in what we can only imagine was a desperate attempt to bring in some money to the network, Funny or Die partnered with the Shell Oil and Gas Company to produce a digital series called Glowing Up Fast, which was basically a mock sitcom that was riddled with product placement and visits from a Shell Oil and Gas representative.
It's been scrubbed from the internet, by the way.
No, people won't mind that the fucking oil companies are sponsoring us.
Literally, all you can find anymore is screenshots, but it's literally like the family has spray tans and they answer the door and it's a rep from Shell Oil and Gas. It's our friendly neighborhood Shell Oil and Gas Company representative.
Do they just roll coal in their car? Hey son, should I roll coal?
It's gone, and it's gone.
Man, we need to track this down on the torrents.
So obviously this was a little weird for an outlet that you could probably assume would at least attempt to avoid an official integration with a company that thrives on its use of fossil fuels and almost certainly contributes in some way to global climate change. But hey,
it's just not good optics, partnering with a fucking oil company right now.
But hey, maybe that one integration was enough to keep the entire company afloat. At the very least, we're not knocking Funny or Die as a whole here. They still produce some pretty funny shit, most notably the recent YouTube hit Zach Morris is Trash, which is
Zach Morris is trash, but the oil companies, hey, think twice about them. They're pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, they give Zach Morris a lot of shit on this show, but have they taken a look at themselves in the mirror?
Shell Oil is great.
Yeah, it's a great series, though.
It is.
Either way, this whole Shell Oil thing, it obviously rubbed Adam McKay the wrong way, as he's been very outspoken about environmental and political issues. When the series actually dropped, shortly after those layoffs, he didn't hold back. He tweeted this directly at the company that he created. Let me be really clear. This is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I'm shocked and horrified Funny or Die did this.
Holy shit.
Imagine your boss tweeting that about something you did.
Hey, this will blow over, right? Yeah, so apparently just after that went down, he quietly exited the company entirely. I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
I'm making a movie about Dick Cheney that's probably gonna win Oscars. Fuck you, Shell Oil. So in a recent statement to outlets like Vulture, he went public with the decision and also provided his reasons why, saying, lately I've found myself increasingly drawn to stories and projects that mean a lot to me. Big money, corporate entanglements, and global warming. Given Funny or Die is driven by ad revenues, I felt the time had come for me to step down. I have to say I love what we created at Funny or Die and all the really fun collaborators, and I wish them the best for the future. But literally I'm the guy that made The Big Short. Guys, I can't. I can't do it.
So yeah, again, like we said, McKay gonna be just fine. He's very much coming into his own in a different area of movie making. Outside of his previous comedy work, he's released stuff like we just mentioned, The Big Short, and he has that upcoming Dick Cheney biopic, Vice, that we've already talked about on the show and shown you the trailer for. But yeah, this whole thing, it's another clear-cut example of the kind of money chasing that networks either choose to do instead of leaning into areas where they're already successful, or doing it out of pure necessity in order to keep their heads above water because of how insanely difficult it is to monetize on these platforms, especially if you have to actually pay a bunch of employees.
You know what kind of person takes an ad deal from an oil company to keep their business afloat? A sociopath!
Boom. Zach Morris's Trash, though, great show.
Still, yeah, real great.
Yeah, so go watch that.
Yeah, so moving on. Seems like every movie studio these days needs its own big connected cinematic universe, despite the fact that it seems like it's increasingly a bad idea. For example, remember how Universal put so much time, money, and hype into making The Mummy the first film in a big series that was sure to be successful, only to just cancel the whole fucking thing when it turned out nobody actually cared about any of it. It was very embarrassing, especially since Universal had already lined up an entire franchise cast for their dark universe, that's what they called it, with Russell Crowe, Johnny Depp, and Javier Bardem all posing for publicity photos for movies that ended up all getting canceled. So that was oof.
Well, one company, they're not going to let their cinematic universe dreams die, even when they've already got one ongoing cinematic universe that people increasingly hate. We're talking about Warner Brothers, and while the DC movie universe is standing on shaky ground at best right now, they're diversifying their investments with another big cinematic universe built around Hanna Barbera cartoons. I'm interested.
All
right, yeah, to be fair, it's not clear exactly how connected all of this will actually be, but it sounds like we're gonna be getting a whole lot of movies here because Hanna Barbera, their back catalog is absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan, so I'm excited.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was an animation powerhouse in the 60s and 70s. They used a bunch of time-saving tricks to make televised animation a whole lot easier to produce than was previously possible. Now, the big ones from Hanna-Barbera's golden age include The Flintstones, The Jetsons, The Smurfs, Scooby-Doo, Tom and Jerry, Yogi Bear, Wacky Races, Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss, Josie and the Pussycats, Magilla Gorilla, and so many more, a lot of which was bad. They also later on produced a lot of the shows that ended up getting repurposed in the early years of Adult Swim, like C-Lab, Birdman, and Space Ghost.
Yeah, so there's a lot to go off there. And as we've seen with stuff like Alvin and the Chipmunks and Smurfs, these properties, they all have strong potential to end up being actual trash on the big screen. So that may well be the case. Now, the news for the Tom and Jerry movie currently in development does sound kind of promising, though. It'll be a mix of live action and animation, and neither of the main characters will talk like in the originals.
Good.
No word yet, though, on whether it will feature Mammy Two Shoes, but we would assume not.
Yeah, probably not.
Meanwhile, also in development, there's movies for the Jetsons, the Flintstones, and Wacky Races, and since Warner Brothers also owns the Looney Tunes, they've got a Wile E. Coyote movie in development as well, along with a Space Jam remake starring LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. I will say, I've liked a lot of the movie, like the Jetsons movie from the 90s. I liked a lot, but I was a child.
What about the Flintstones Meet the Jetsons?
I loved the Flintstones live action movies, but I was a child.
Right, yeah, that one was
Looney
bad.
Tunes back in action, not bad. Here's what I'll say though, like, you know what was very promising that never got made? And it was because of Sony's fuck up, I think. I could be wrong. But what looked great and never got made, that Popeye movie that they put out the animatic for.
Yeah, that was real sad. That looked great.
So if they can do stuff with Tom and Jerry and a couple of these other properties that fills that vibe out pretty nicely, I would be pretty excited. Also, hey, here's a fucking pro tip. If you want to do something actually good, hire, what's his name? Is it Mark Russell? The guy that does the Flintstones comic books and Snagglepuss comic books, and he just released The Lone Ranger. So I think it's Mark Russell, I believe.
Yeah.
Hire him to write and make it fucking rated R.
Right, yeah, I mean...
Snagglepuss Chronicles as a rated R animated movie would be amazing.
Yeah.
Or his take on the Flintstones would be amazing. But who are we?
So yeah, expect a shit ton of animated movies out of Warner Brothers for the foreseeable future. For our part, though, yes, we would much prefer it if they went a different route with this, specifically something more along the lines of DC Comics' Hanna-Barbera Beyond series of comic books, which takes all these beloved children's characters and places them in much more mature adult situations. And it's not just for shock value, guys. The Flintstones comic in particular is actually it's just really good.
Yeah.
It features all sorts of clever social commentary and its humor. It takes the template of the Flintstones, the basic premise of it, and it tells some really funny, interesting, smart stories.
Yeah, if you like, it's not exactly the same, but if you're a fan of South Park's social commentary specifically, It has a lot of that vibe, although a bit more depressing.
Yeah.
So it's honestly really, really good.
Yeah, and the Wacky Races comic, it's more along the lines of something like Mad Max. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
The Snagglepuss comic is about a successful Broadway playwright, who's a cat, living in the McCarthy era, trying to hide his homosexuality and not get blacklisted. That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of thing would make for much more interesting movies. They will almost definitely, absolutely never do any of that, though, which sucks. It's sad.
Yeah. But speaking of cats, meow. And speaking of plays, there's going to be a new movie musical adaptation of the classic Broadway play Cats, which neither of us know anything about. Not really the one you know what millennials are killing? The Broadway musical Cats. Why are all these millennials going to see Book of Mormon and literally anything else?
Guys, come see Cats.
No interest from either of us, even when I've gone to New York or when it's traveled here. But apparently, a lot of people don't know what it's about out there, you included, I'm sure. I know that you can assume what I assume, that there's people in cat costumes dancing, and that's kind of what it is.
That is. I'm pretty sure that's true.
But people not knowing about it, it made a tweet from The Hollywood Reporter this week describing the adaptation, one of the most unintentionally funny things that we've seen, at least this week on social media. Cats tells the story of a tribe of felines called the Jellicles, and the night they made what is known as the Jellicle choice, and decide which cat will ascend to the Heaviside lair and come back to a new life. What? The fuck?
That's apparently the plot of Cats.
Do people that actually see the play know that?
I'm sure it's explained.
I just assumed it was dancing and a bunch of people going meow, 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 meow.
There's some deep, heavy lore here. I thought it was just 2 hours of people being like, I'm a cat, I'm a cat, I'm a cat. So yeah.
Anyway, it's got an all-star cast who are probably just wrestling with the idea of this plot. But
you're gonna make me look like what?
Idris Elba's in it, Taylor Swift is in it, Jennifer Hudson, James Corden, and Ian McKellen. All as cats.
You guys like Gandalf? You want to see him as a big old cat?
You guys ever wonder what James Corden would look like as Heathcliff? Now you got your chance. Or James Corden as Garfield. He loves lasagna.
Yeah, it's true. He does.
This is gonna be like one of those where they show it on TV live or whatever, right? Like they always do every winter.
I think it's an actual movie.
Wow.
Big budget.
Wow.
Edgy for the 21st century.
I wish it was one of those NBC things because they are a lovely train wreck.
Yeah, those are great. Like
Christopher Walken as Captain Hook.
They know how bad they are.
Yeah.
They know they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
They know it's a train wreck. That's what's great about them.
Yeah. Put them on TV live. That's what I say.
Anyways, here's some news. We apparently can't actually show movie trailers anymore because the last 3 episodes of News Dump we've posted have all gotten multiple copyright strikes from the movie studios for showing parts of their trailers without sound while we talk about them, which is not only what is commonly understood to be just textbook fair use, it's also extremely dumb and frustrating because this is your promotional material that you release to get people interested in seeing your movies. You idiots.
Yeah. What the fuck?
It's pretty baffling, really.
Outlets, including ours, and including outlets that we know very well, have had no problem with this for years.
Yeah, it's
and then all of a sudden,
yeah, Collider's getting fucking torn apart over this.
It's
Nerdist.
What I can only assume it is that someone at the movie studios was like, hey, did you know we could make a fuck ton of money by copyright claiming videos with our trailers in them and then taking all of the monetization from those? And people are probably like, cool.
It's evil, but
damn it,
I'm a sociopath.
That's all I can assume is that they were like, we're leaving all this money on the table by allowing all these outlets to report on the movies we make.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because I hate it.
It's very frustrating.
Before YouTube was around, these studios had to actually invest millions of dollars into getting these trailers played during commercial breaks on TV or before other movies in theaters. Now that they can post them online for free, they're going after anyone who essentially is helping them get the word out. It is so fucking dumb.
It's very short-sighted.
Yeah.
Because it's actually, we talked about it this week and we talked about it in this episode, that it's becoming harder and harder for shows that you enjoy online to survive. And it would not surprise me if some of your favorite movie channels we're really, really kneecapped by this. Like,
Yeah.
you can't make money if you're specifically a movie channel. I don't want to bring up Collider again because I don't want to like throw them under the bus for an unwanted reason. We love the people at Collider, but like say like Nerdist or Screen Junkies or any movie news coverage outlet that has to pay employees that literally can't even make money discussing movies anymore.
What do you fucking do?
You go out of business. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But anyways, they're not even just going after trailers though. There's still a decent chance that we'll get dinged for using any footage in this episode. In which case, what's even the point? It's, like we said, frustrating. So luckily a lot of you are supporting the show on Patreon, so it's not completely pointless for us to talk about entertainment news, but depending on how this show does over the next few weeks, it may be time to make some serious changes, and that sucks. I mean, at the very least, we just can't use B-roll of things to visually represent what we're talking about.
I mean, if I had more time, if News Dump was the one show we were doing all week, I would Swede everything.
Yeah. Just make fake versions
like
of
puppets
it.
and shit.
Yeah.
But
we
no.
obviously can't do that. But anyways, there were a lot of trailers this week, a lot of horror ones. You can find out about those by going to google.com and typing in new movie trailers. So, and you know what? If you can't find them on their official movie production YouTube channel, you might still be able to find them on channels like Fandango and Joe Blow until those shut down because they run out of money entirely. Thank you so much for donating to the Patreon, patreon.com/internet today. Yeah, we'll briefly show you one trailer that we're pretty excited about and risk it all.
Yeah.
It's for a new Amazon show who we haven't been struck by yet, but maybe this time. It's called the Gymkhana Files, and it's about professional rally driver Ken Block, who makes some of the coolest drift videos on the internet. It comes to Amazon Prime on November 16th. Hey, boom, that's it, done, over with.
There. That one looks good. We told you about it. Get it off the screen.
Get it away from us. We're gonna get in trouble. Ugh. Anyways, that's it for News Dump this week. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend.
Yes, please. Bye.